Hello, Internet. Welcome to episode 357 of the Assorted Calibers podcast. The second podcast is a little bit for everyone. I'm Weer'd, and tonight we are having an ACP round table. So, first of all, I am joined by the greatest hostess in the entire universe, Erin Paulette. How you doing, Erin?
So this is episode 357, and you are a revolver guy. Why is this not an episode about 357 Magnum and Elmer Keith?
Thank you, Erin. Thank you so much. So yes, for listeners, stay tuned. We have it all prepared for the next episode. I've been away on vacation. There's a bunch of news stuff, and we're also joined by the Dodd. Hello, the Dodd.
We are Dodd.
Oh, Oddball missed it. Is he gone? Oddball, no. Are you alive?
I can see his mic flashing, but I'm not hearing him. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'll just pick up the slack by saying, you did not read the intro in the actual episode guide that I helped prepare for you.
Oh, yes.
You went completely off script.
Well, because you guys mess with the intro all the time, and it screws me up.
That's the point.
It's completely my fault. This is an episode about the appropriate cartridge. With me tonight is the greatest host. It's the entire universe. Erin put this. Thank you, David.
What was that after the word universe? Before Erin?
Both known and unknown. I like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you hear me now. Oh, good.
Yay! He's back. Did Discord decide to run the mic to your toothbrush?
No, my microphone just decided, you know what? I'm going to say that I'm on, but nope.
I am tired.
Apparently.
I assumed it was either Discord rerouting your microphone or something cat related.
Yeah. No, just decided to bugger off.
Yeah, but I had to call an audible because talking about goals next week in 358, it just seemed a little once removed. So.
Well, I have an idea for next week. It's episode 357-2.
Well, we can make it like
357-1.
That's not how Smith & Wesson does their numbering.
Oh, do they not do dash? Is -1 the first variant?
As far as I'm aware, it goes right to -2.
Because I know that there's no dash, and I think my Model 66 is a -1.
I have not seen a -1.
So are we talking about there being a no dash?
Yeah, no dash is the original.
So I actually had a solution for this, and chosen with malice aforethought to make the purists twitch.
I like it already.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we? Do you want to say it now, or do we want to save it next week? Because you've shared this with me. And
I'm saving it for next week.
That's smart. I will just say,
excellent.
It made me angry until I suddenly realized that you 100% intended it to, and that it was just evil.
Yes, your response was, I'm glad you know the sin you just committed.
So listeners, tune in next time for Erin's horrible plot.
All right, so...
Are we going to do this thing?
What's that?
Are we going to do this thing?
We're going to do this thing. Does obviously David and Oddball were at goals. Do either of you have any related weekly business going on?
I finally got a chance to shoot my Keltec P15.
Oh, how'd you like it?
I wish I had brought my SIG 365 to the range to give it a proper headset test. Because, well, shooting it compared to the PX4, the full-size PX4 I was shooting alongside it, it did feel a bit snappy, but it's a little bit smaller and a good bit lighter. So,
yep.
But yeah, it ran well, and and it should be good. The grips are a bit on the small side for me, but that's true with a lot of guns. So
Oddball can also pick up a basketball with his thumb and forefinger.
It's true.
I will say I was away on vacation up on Lake Champlain like we do every August, and my nephew decided to do a range trip. He specifically wanted to shoot my 454 Casull, and so that was fun. That's the first time I've ever been beside the gun when it went off, and I don't know what's more unpleasant, being behind it with it kicking into your hand, or being beside it when the cylinder gap hits you in the face. But it was we had a spicy good time. I think I only shot it 4 times. That way, my hand was only mild. But yeah, we all had fun, and like, my nephew stops telling me like the new stuff he's got. I mean, he's in his early 20s, so he's in that phase where he's just acquiring. And but like, he just told me, he's like, "What do you want me to bring?" I'm like, "You don't really have anything like that's everything you showed me that's new. That's not anything I shot." He goes, "Okay." And then as he's unloading his car, he's got a Springfield Hellion and a Smith & Wesson M&P 12 on there, and I'm like, "When the hell did you get these?" And he actually the Hellion, of which I called the VHS, because why would you call it anything else but the VHS? That's the
I do think the second version should be the Beta.
the Betamax.
Yes.
He had swapped everything over to left-handed. He's left-handed as well, like David. God put his right hand on the wrong side of his body, and
no, we are the ones using the correct hand. You guys are all incorrect.
Yeah.
David, you like this one? Oh God, I can't remember the setup, but the idea being that the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body. Only left-handed people are in their right mind.
That is correct.
It's true.
It is true.
And then but he had swapped it over to left hand, but was having trouble getting the buttstock, and it was getting stuck on the hammer. It was one of those. It was a 3-hand operation, so luckily we had multiple hands and got that back together. And then because he had shot my bullpup left-handed, and I said, "You should be okay." It took a 308 brass in the teeth. he was not severely hurt, but he did not enjoy it.
Did he smile and reveal the teeth with the soot marks on him?
He had soot marks on his teeth.
I mean, it works better than a left-hander shooting my bullpup left-handed.
Oh,
yeah.
With a charging handle, it breaks your face.
Yeah. Is it the Grozny? Is that called?
Well, it's the 3D printed one, so it's the Groznot.
Groznot. Okay.
The L86.
But the British rifle is the L85.
Oh, L85.
Oh, and just I did look it up. Yes, Smith & Wesson did use -1 in their process. Not consistently, because it's Smith & Wesson.
Of course not.
But the -2s for some reason are much more prevalent.
But yeah, so I shot those, and I was shooting several of his. He's also got one of the bullpup semi-auto shotguns, and I was shooting that. Left-handed, just to try to see what was going on, and it was one of those. If I shot it with my face back on the stock a bit, there's no problem at all. And then I decided to like really cheat up on the stock. And the shotgun specifically, I could feel the rim of the brass hit the very, very end of my lip every time it was shooting. It was like a sibling with the flicking the liquid lip with the middle finger. So that's that. Well, what happened to you, Erin?
Okay. This is actually too long for this bit. I will need to do it some other time in greater detail. But the short version is that my phone crashed, and I didn't know that was possible, but I got a screen that was very similar to the blue screen of death. This is an Android, so it was like a black screen with green letters, and it was essentially, if you keep seeing the screen, you need to do a factory reset. And I kept seeing the screen because I'd be doing something and the phone would just immediately crash into it. And so, okay, I've got backups, do a factory reset. The problem is that the phone does not see the backed up file. I see it's there because it's there in Google Drive. On my computer, I can see it. And I know that it's not like a hardware issue or whatever because my phone can see the tablet backup. It just can't see the phone backup. And getting Google to help with that, getting the service drone to break out of the script is proving difficult because I lost track of how many times the person asked me to send a screenshot of the problem. And it's like, the phone is still in the early stages of a factory reset. There's no way for me to take a picture. And even if I could, I'd have to finish the reset and set things up in order to send it to you. No. And it actually got to the point where I got on ChatGPT because either this was an AI or it was someone following a script and probably using Translate because of the delay in talk. And so it's just like, fine, I'll have AI talk to AI. And it did get me out of the loop, but it didn't get me help. They basically tried to say, no, Google Drive is fine. It's a problem with your phone. We think it's a hardware thing. You should talk to Motorola. And it was just like, yeah, I'm not going to deal with this right now. I'm going to wait and talk to another service rep, preferably one who is competent. But the thing with Google One is that they keep the chat open for 24 hours. So I still have an open ticket. So I couldn't talk to another person. And I would either have to do it over the phone, which I don't want to do for a variety of reasons. And if I do it by email, it's just going to be more of the same. And so, fine, you know what? I'll just wait the 24 hours. The good news is that my phone is a phone, and it does work, and I can do what's necessary. It's just not really my phone right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Well, they'll get it to work. And by the way, actually,
God, I don't. I hope so, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll get it to work. That's the worst part.
I mean, you've still got the files, so that's I'm pulling for you.
Thank you.
We will see next week.
My cynicism stems from the fact that you're talking logically, and I don't trust human logic anymore.
I mean, no one has ever gone broke underestimating human logic.
There is no logic in this place.
Only Zool.
Only Zool. But yeah, when I was first making an appointment for the plumbing company that we currently use, I was on their website and I was just kind of looking it over and trying to figure out what number to call, and a little window popped up on the website. Hey, can I help you? And I typed to it, and it was like very slowly responding, pertinent information. And so I said to them, like when they finally came, I'm like, is that a chat bot on your website? Like, no, that's like just Gina in the office. And I went, oh, okay. But the reason why they're slow and clunky like that is because they're juggling between like 5 or 6 different chats, and they're making it a point that they're not going to stick with any one person for too long, so that they're not abandoning anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to do had that work for Brownells for a while, where I was helping manage their chat for people with questions about products. And yeah, you might have 3, 4, 5 chats going at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal was to get them their answer and get them off quickly.
All right, am I missing something from anybody else? Or can we dive into the news?
Please, can you appreciate
well,
the unintentional pun? No, it went over all of your heads?
I guess so.
If it was something weird said, I wasn't really paying attention.
No. It was something you said, David. Your job was to try to get them off quickly.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we are still doing phrasing.
Yes, we are. We are always doing phrasing. But actually, I just want to mention something that happened at the goals weekend that was not goals related.
Mm-hmm.
So that weekend, between my wife and I think we had 9 different things that we were interested in doing or invited to do or planning to do, but they all fell on the same weekend. And I obviously did the Goals Expo, and my wife, out of the 5 or 6 that she had to juggle, decided to volunteer at the Friends of NRA banquet Saturday evening, or afternoon and evening. So while Oddball and I are at Goals on Saturday, she messages me that her car won't start. Like, well, that's odd. It gave a warning and then just wouldn't start. I said, take my car. We'll figure it out tomorrow. So she takes my car, goes to the event. Oddball and I finish up at Goals, come back to the house, and I get a text from my wife at around 10-ish that night. The key broke in the ignition in my car. So it's the plastic fob with the key sticking out the front, and it's held in by one little tiny screw, and every time you twist the key, that screw pushes at the edge of the plastic. Well, it finally sheared on her. And the car was in aux. She couldn't get the key out. She couldn't start the car. It was stuck on aux, so it was draining the battery.
Fun.
So as soon as I read the message that the key broke, Oddball's like, we need to go get her. No hesitation. So, yep, we hop in his car, drive over there. I managed to get the key out of the ignition, and then using my key to the car, drive us home, all that. The next morning, before I am even out of bed, Oddball has removed the battery from my wife's car so we can go and get a new one.
Oh, what a good boy.
Smoothly. Oh, he is the best boy. But he does not get entirely rewarded for his actions because we put the new battery, well, he, I should say, puts the new battery in the car, and he is attaching the terminal leads. And when he attaches the second lead, the car alarm goes off, and his head is like 6 inches from the horn aperture.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was like you got hit in the head with a bat, the way you bounced away from that car. It was brutal for me several feet away. I can't even imagine. I mean, I can imagine. I've heard loud sounds. But yeah, everything's been fine with her car since. I just want to brag on my brother a little bit.
Oddball, did you also change out the timing belt while you're in there?
And the water pump?
No, just the battery.
Then the decision was, okay, to my wife, the rest of the day is your day. If you want us to go away and leave you alone, we will go away and leave you alone. If to take you somewhere, we will take you somewhere. What would you like to do? And initially she was saying, well, we could all go to Goals so that, there are a couple things that she wanted to take a look at. And there was a Stop the Bleed class that Oddball and I wanted to take. And then it was like, it's like 3 hours for time remaining. So Oddball suggested, how about we go to Gatlinburg? And my wife just lit right up. We went to Gatlinburg. We had lunch at Margaritaville. We wandered around. We went to a honey place where we tasted some of their flavored honeys. And my wife and Oddball tasted some of their meads. Wandered around some more. Went to a hard cider place where they tasted and purchased some hard cider. And then the moonshine place. And then came home tired, happy, and with lots of booze. I mean, lots of booze.
Which moonshine place you guys go to?
Was it Old Smoky?
Old Smoky,
yeah, Old Smoky.
Old Smoky, yeah.
And pass by a shop that, Weer'd, if you come back down for the blogger shoot, I'm guessing you're going to have to make a stop by.
It's called Duck Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And where is that? Where did you go? Also, because this is the 10th year of the blog shoot, why are you doing that? Oh, damn it. It's doing that. Never mind. But I made stickers.
Oh, cool.
And they are ordered and they should be shipping soon. But
everybody loves stickers.
Yeah, and the only way to get one is to attend the blog shoot.
I mean, I
or
bet
find someone who attended the blog shoot and steal their stickers.
I bet, David, if I asked really nicely, you'd send me one.
You're not wrong. Erin Paletto's not wrong. Weird, on the other hand, screw that guy.
I bet if I asked really, really nicely, David would say yes and then send me a box of Lipton tea.
Weird is, in this case, not wrong.
And the sticker may or may not be in the giant box.
Oh, it would not be. If he's not willing to come down and attend the blog shoot, he doesn't deserve a sticker. Erin, on the other hand, puts up with all of our crap all the time. She deserves way more than a sticker.
I mean, there is that.
True. Yeah, this is true.
All right. I think it's time for us to dive into the news. So this first one is the, oh my God, the plot thickens. Like, if this was a movie script, we'd be like, you know what? Can you dial it back a little bit? So in the last episode, we talked about how an airman had been killed by an M18, which is one of the military variants of the Sig P320. And and so I'm trying to remember if I had said it. I'd certainly said it. I just didn't know if I said it on the show. I was wondering if somebody from Sig was going to end up going to prison because of this. And the plot thickens.
Somebody's going to prison.
Someone is going to prison, and another airman has been arrested for filing a false statement, I believe, was part of it. Let's see. Has been arrested for making a false official statement, obstruction of justice, and involuntary manslaughter. So, wow, that is a really, really big deal on that, because that implies that they were involved in unsafe practices with that SIG.
So I'm going to make a hypothesis here based on really nothing but a gut feeling. So these two guys were hanging out, and the one who's been arrested was, and I'm not even going to say he was fooling around with the gun. Maybe he was trying to disassemble it or clean it or something like that. But in doing so, he screwed up. He didn't observe proper muzzle discipline and trigger discipline, and there was a round in the chamber, and he negligently shot his buddy in the chest. And he panicked, and he decided that instead of fessing up and taking the blame, hey, the P320 has been in the news for all these things, I'm going to blame it on the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And you swapped out the gun or things like that to make it seem like his buddy took the holster off and then it fired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure more information will come out going forward, but that is certainly what it looks like.
Yeah. And there is the whole thing that, of course, there's a bunch of the SIG fanboys that are pointing at this, going, see, the M18 or 320 is perfectly safe because of this. Well, that's this one instance. I'm still not convinced, since there's still a lot of other instances where no, that something hinky is going on, and something strange has been happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's no matter which way it turns out, it's bad.
Yeah,
whether the gun actually did discharge in the holster, and no horseplay was going on, or no unauthorized behavior, it's bad. If this other airman was engaged in something unwise that wound up in the death of the other one, also bad. There is no good outcome.
Absolutely.
A man died.
Absolutely.
It's just all the way down. The only possible silver lining that I see is the military is now taking an active investigation into the safety concerns of the M18 and M17 pistols. And that may turn up things that, well, Matthew and Heinrich have already discovered. Because I have a feeling the military is going to be less amused by different parts with the same part numbers.
And phantom changes to the way parts are designed without that's definitely okay. Explain this to us.
Yeah, especially with how military procurement works. The specifications are set in stone. That's why the M16 could not be updated with better barrels or better materials until the A2 program.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I don't think I have anything else to contribute to that story myself.
Well, I mean, the story itself is frustratingly vague. We arrested a guy for these things, but we aren't told anything else.
Well, and it's also one of those things of the investigation is still very young, so there's not a whole lot they can say.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. Well, so
you're going to want me to lead on this one, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Fine. All right. So, a couple of days ago, there was a shooting at a bar in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, and 3 people were killed and 8 people were wounded, which is terrible. Crown Heights, just for those who are not familiar, is kind of the boundary between the Hasidic neighborhood of Brooklyn and the non, which is actually generally a large black population. And there have been clashes between those two communities going back many years. So at this point, I don't know who shot whom. And honestly, not relevant, because Giffords, never missing a chance to dance in blood, put up a Twix talking about this and then added, "Easy access to guns turns dangerous situations deadly." The shooting was in Brooklyn, which is part of New York City, which has some of the most strict and stringent gun laws in the country. So what is this easy access to guns these idiots are talking about?
And the issue is...
And then they closed comments.
Yeah,
Of course they did.
Somebody had a gun. Whether it was legal or not, it didn't matter. You just want to keep banning until there's just no more.
Well, no, they want to keep banning until only the government and the criminals have guns. But I repeat myself. Because the more victims they have, the more power they get.
Which is true.
And it's just... I was actually disappointed that they remembered to close comments this time, because usually they don't.
I was rather expecting a picture from The Princess Bride. The whole Inigo Montoya. I do not think that means what you think it means.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm really surprised that they ever leave the comments open, because there's actually like very, very, very infrequently do you see pro gun control people commenting on them.
Yeah. But they do occasionally. But Giffords and Brady do occasionally, more Brady than Giffords, I think, forget to lock comments, and then they get ratioed, and they'll often take the post down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, but yeah, it's literally dancing in the blood of the 3 dead and 8 wounded at that nightclub shooting to say New York City has easy access to guns. Not legally, they don't.
I mean, it's really just the broken record. It's in the United States. The United States has way too lax gun control laws as far as they're concerned, and therefore they're going to move on. Of course, we see, we see that just always ratchet down on the on the controls. Actually, I'm going to pull an oddball just because it ties in nicely, but I'll throw it in the show notes just for people to watch. It was
it's a video.
Yes, but the I think many people may be familiar with Shadiversity on and he's he does have a habit of being
he really likes enjoying hearing himself talk.
Yes, he has a habit of being very, very long-winded. This one is not too much. This one's actually 12 minutes long. Possibly.
So he says hi.
And And but yeah, so he essentially he said, will they try to ban hardware stores? And he's talking about how reported on it. They've just implemented the machete ban in Australia, and they go into the hardware store and they just start making medieval style weapons just out of just random equipment that they've got, and just show the futility of, in this case, weapons control laws. And also I noted, I didn't get any response in the chat, but I noted that Shad is a member of the Latter-day Saints Church, and though he's in Australia, but noting that the LDS here in America are generally very well known for being very, very well armed, and in part just because Brigham Young and Joseph Smith, I think, were both from Vermont, and they got sent all the way over to Utah before they finally were actually able to put down long-lasting roots. And it's just because they just kept getting driven off their land. But yeah, it is. Gifford sees New York and goes, "Oh, it's way too lax because it's not like England or Australia or China or Mexico
or Poland."
So yeah.
Oh wait, never mind.
They will never stop, and that's really just the key takeaway to always remember with these sort of things. Is at no point in time has a gun control group ever went, that one was a little bit too far. That really, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
Or even identify what is a stopping point prior to full confiscation of all firearms.
Oh yeah, I mean, they can't even identify what's an assault weapon.
Yeah. But, if you ask a gun prohibitionist, okay, at what point is it enough? They either can't or won't answer, because the only honest answer they can give is all of them. And they know that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think this is a great pivot into our next topic, where we talk about, once again, Duncan v. Bonta. And
yes, this is the case that will not end.
This is the case that will not end. It goes on and on, my friend. Okay, so these guys are going to talk about it to death. So here's the 1,000-foot view, as I understand it, because we're referencing a video from Washington Gun Law, and he talks about how, unlike all other assault weapon or magazine bans, which grandfathered them in, the California law makes them illegal to own. And so the people who now own these prohibited items, they've essentially had their stuff, it hasn't been confiscated, but they can't use it and they haven't been compensated for it. And so what's going to happen in this next case that the guys are going to talk about is that in addition to the Second Amendment grounds, they're going to be addressing this case on Fifth Amendment grounds. In other words, illegal takings. The government of California has conducted an illegal taking of my property, which I acquired lawfully, and now it's illegal and they haven't compensated me for it. And so, will this work? We don't know, but it's an interesting tactic. Okay, boys, go.
That is interesting.
Well, let's let Oddball, our legal correspondent, take over.
Oddball, do you want to give your standard disclaimer first?
I am not a lawyer, and I can't remember the last time I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. But in this case, I'm not really telling you about what you should or shouldn't do. But if you take any of my legal advice, tell the judge that some guy on a podcast that goes by the name of Oddball told you to do it. See how that goes for you.
This guy seems legit.
Right. So Duncan v. Bonta has been going on for a long time. And in fact, I believe the last time I was on a round table with you guys, I was complaining about just how long this case has been going on. And And it's been going on long enough that the original, one of the key arguments by the state originally was, well, yes, these magazines are considered weapons which would deal with the Second Amendment, but we're going to do the whole interest balancing thing, so we think it's in the best interest of society in general for us to ban it. Therefore, we can ignore the Second Amendment.
Even though the Supreme Court flatly said no interest balancing.
Oh, this was before that. This was years before that.
How long has this been bouncing around?
About over a decade now.
For God's sake.
So the law was passed in 2016, went into effect 2017. I'm trying to find when the suit was filed, but you would assume it wasn't long after that. Yeah,
it was filed. And sorry, it wasn't a decade. It's almost been a decade. It was filed like a few months after it was passed, after the law was passed, and it has gone up through the circuit, bounced off SCOTUS. SCOTUS told NYSERPA v. Bruin happened in the middle of that, and SCOTUS told the Ninth Circuit to rehear the case in light of NYSERPA v. Bruin, also known as, you got it wrong, but you didn't have the information that would tell you that you got it wrong. Here's the information telling you got it wrong. Try again. And the Ninth Circuit responded by saying, oh, well, in that case, we need to bump it all the way back down to the circuit court, who it's blanked out on the name of the judge.
Benitez,
thank you. Who Benitez, surprise, agreed with SCOTUS and said, yeah, no, I ruled this as being unconstitutional the first time around, and nothing has changed in a way to stop me from thinking that it's still that it's not still unconstitutional. And so it's gone back up. There's been some shenanigans where it's bounced around in the appellate court system, and now the plaintiffs are actually petitioning SCOTUS again. And in the language of their petition, they are straight up telling SCOTUS, look, there's shenanigans going on. The Ninth Circuit is straight up ignoring you and making fun of you. It's time for you to do something about it.
My only regret is that Costas Moros didn't write the brief, because the man has a way with words.
He absolutely does.
And I wish I'd pulled some of the quotes from the petition, because some of the quotes are great, and William Kirk does sample some of those quotes, and obviously Mr. Kirk is very much on our side of, look, SCOTUS has been jerking us around with this. It's time for them to actually do something, and they've had other cases that were fine. William Kirk actually stated, they stated last time, well, the cases need some time to marinate. This case has marinated enough.
It's going to have no connective tissue left.
Yeah,
to the analogy.
So it would be really nice for SCOTUS to actually get off their seats and actually deal with this situation, which they have admitted that they need to do, but the time wasn't right for whatever reason. Which, again, for those of you who are Patreon subscribers, check out the last mag dump we did with my lengthy and I believe curse-filled rant about that.
Yes.
So I
when
think
Oddball engages the profanity switch, it's always good.
So I think I found the
him.
quote, or at least one of the quotes you were looking for, Oddball. The only thing more patent than California's disrespect for these rights and the people to whom they belong is the Ninth Circuit's disrespect for this court and its place in the Article 3 hierarchy.
Yes. that was the one that I saw and just doubled over, because that is, shall we say, brazen for someone to put in a in a legal file. It's absolutely 100% correct, but it's very rare for you to actually see that kind of language in a legal file. So,
hey, SCOTUS, you gonna let them talk to you about that, or talk to you like that?
Yeah.
And actually, unless if other folks have anything to say, I'd like to say something tangentially related, unless if you guys have anything else to say about this case.
Mm-mm.
Let the oddball cook.
Which is, of course, we've cited and talked about William Kirk and his Washington Gun Law YouTube channel a lot. And if you aren't watching his stuff, what are you doing? You need to.
Yes.
Not only is he very informative, and you're not gonna get you're not gonna get any clickbait. If he says that something's a big deal in the title of the video, it's because it's a big deal.
Correct.
And he's also just a supremely nice individual. We both David and I got a chance to talk to hang out and talk with him, not just on the floor where he's on doing the shaking hands and things like that. He actually, while David and I were recovering a bit in the media room, he actually came over to us and talked with us for a while. He's a great guy. And Weer'd, you will be contacting him to do an interview, right?
I will. David actually sent me a message. Is just a long list of contacts for interviews, along with their contact information. And so it's one of those I just need to just bang down it.
Long list. There are 5 names on there.
I'm going through a lot right now, man.
Well, I think William should definitely be on the top of that list. And
absolutely. If anything, I just want to have a legal expert in Washington just to go over what laws they've got on the books right now, because I can't even keep track of it. I'm having a hard time keeping track of Massachusetts.
I'm just going to copy and paste exactly what I put in the message to Weer'd, and you can see who is first.
Yep.
Good. And one of the things was I did have to ask him, with as much as I've been watching the legal stuff, he's obviously been watching it more, and he obviously, as an actual lawyer and specifically as a Second Amendment lawyer, he very much knows more of how things go on behind the scenes and how to read and interpret things. And I had to ask him, how have you managed not to get black-pilled while watching all this stuff in the past, especially in the past year or two?
Especially as a resident of Washington State.
Especially as a resident of Washington State. Me being in Tennessee, you guys can definitely attest that there have been times that I have very much been deeply black-pilled about anything when it came to gun laws, and I live in a rather free state when it comes to firearms.
Yep. One of the deciding factors for us moving here.
And he did talk excitedly about some stuff that he thinks might be coming out of New Jersey in the near future.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And I believe he recently put up a video discussing that. I'll go find it and add it to the show notes, as is tradition. But I'll leave that for a little bit of a teaser for possibly something for Weer'd to ask him about.
Yesterday he put up the video. I did want to mention 15 states are now challenging the NF.
Yeah, and annoyingly, once again, Tennessee ain't one of them.
Yeah, I tagged I forget his name, the state AG, in a couple of the Twix posts about that. Like, why isn't Tennessee on this list?
Yeah, the video he posted up a couple days ago. Why the state is the perfect Second Amendment battleground, which he's got some solid arguments in there, in that it might actually work out for us. And I'll spoil it a bit. One of the big things is, as he's talked about, and just about anybody who's talked about Second Amendment legal stuff, is we pretty much never get gun rights cases showing up in circuits that are generally pro-gun.
Tennessee is the 5th or the 6th? I think we're the 6th.
I think the 6th. I can never remember.
I don't think any of us can.
But we've had a couple show up in the. Yeah, I think we're the 6th. 5th is Texas, Louisiana, somebody else. But we've had a couple show up in the 5th, but for the most part, the circuits that we would have the best chance of winning in are the circuits that never have these cases, because those aren't the anti-gun states.
Although I just looked it up. Yes, we are the 6th Circuit, and we share the 6th Circuit, Tennessee, of course, Ohio, Kentucky, and Michigan.
Right.
And Michigan has done some serious shenanigans in recent years.
In the past couple of years, yeah. But there is the possibility that the circuit that New Jersey is in might get a couple of new appellate judges under Trump, which would mean that hopefully we'd have we might actually get a majority of judges in that circuit that might work for us.
New Jersey is in the 3rd Circuit.
Which would definitely make things interesting.
Yeah, along with Pennsylvania and Delaware.
And the Virgin Islands, for some very odd reason.
Huh. I guess they had to stick them somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose. Wait, Puerto Rico's in the 1st, with Maine, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island, and New Hampshire, according to the map. Okay.
So apparently this is just for administrative convenience. And so Congress reorganized these things. And so Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands are the 9th Circuit, Puerto Rico is the 1st Circuit, and the Virgin Islands are the 3rd Circuit.
Although when you look at the map, you can clearly see that as they moved west, they got tired of making new courts.
Yeah, and frankly, that I think that's part of why the 9th Circuit has always been so goofy, because that circuit is just so frickin' huge.
Yeah. I mean, the 8th and the 10th are pretty big, but they're dwarfed by the 9th.
And because of California, they are also dwarfed by the 9th, not just in landmass, but population.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so
but things coming out of the 3rd, and I mean, he's got much more of a finger on the pulse than, he's got a more understanding finger on the pulse than any of us.
Mm-hmm. And I hope he's right, because I would love to see, because then we would have the situation of it goes up to the if it goes up to the en banc panel and we win, and SCOTUS decides, we are a little tired, we are not going to take the case, then we win.
Just for that?
Just for that circuit.
District? Okay. So Pennsylvania, New Jersey, etc. would be freed, and then if it ever comes up to the Supreme Court level again in the future from another district, then the 3rd is there.
Right, and one other circuits, it's not you have to follow this, but other circuits can go, well, this other circuit is leaning this way, and also it's more likely for the 3rd and the 9th to then disagree about something, and that's something that SCOTUS has historically always gone, okay, the circuits are now actually disagreeing about something. We need to step in and sort it out.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we could bypass the long trip to the Supreme Court with like a steel cage match. Each of the districts gets to choose their champion. So some guy from New Jersey going up against some guy from California.
And in the surprise appearance, it's Justice Thomas with the folding chair.
From the top rope. Yeah.
The Lord Humongous, the Ayatollah of rock and rolla.
Yes.
If nobody else has anything to add, I guess we can jump into all the stuff that we saw at Kohl's.
It's a short list.
It's a short list.
Yeah. But yeah, the first day, Thursday, was Media Range Day. This year was held at Windrock Shooting Range, when those who attended the blog shoot remember Windrock. And there was something that we found out later, after it was all over, was we just thought it was at the main range, and the overflow range was being used for vendor parking. And no, there was stuff going on over there as well that we... Lessai.
Yeah, but also I think when we finished up, I think we were kind of done as well.
Oh, you're not kidding.
It was not cool out. It was pretty warm.
No. Although honestly, it was more temperate than last year.
Yeah, and the GOA did a great job of making sure that there was plenty of water on hand.
Yeah. What was that other beverage that they had? I didn't try it.
It was a coffee drink.
That's why I didn't try it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I know that there were some concerns about safety last year, but this year.
Oh, don't! I'm not doing that rant again. No, we'll just say there were some safety concerns.
Yeah, this year, because it was on an actual range, they had the setup so that they could have all of the manufacturers demoing their stuff and having it in a safe environment. And they had a bunch of RSOs.
Oh yeah, major props to those guys. Major props. They were wearing red shirts, so they were visible. They had comms, so they could communicate with each other. And from what I saw where we were, there were no issues that they weren't on top of before they became issues.
Yeah, and even though they had sent us out many, many notices that, no, seriously, bring your own eye pro and ear pro. Mm-hmm. At registration, they did have little gift bags that had foamy earplugs,
squishy plugs,
and some of the cheap clear eye pro, which I actually ended up using because the eye pro I had were sunglasses, and at the beginning of the day it was actually pretty overcast.
It was gloriously overcast.
Yeah, which I wasn't complaining about at all.
Nope. Also in the goodie bag was a little spray bottle of hand sanitizer and a little of sunblock. Yeah. So somebody had their thinking cap on. There were a couple other things I think in there, but those are the main items. So yeah, definitely major props to GOA for getting the range day down. Right.
And of course, if you didn't have Ear Pro and you want something a bit better than the disposable squishy ones, I believe it was Access Hearing Protection was on site selling their fancy electronic earbuds Axel.
Yeah, I thought there was another one too. I thought there were two different vendors that had Ear Pro.
Axel is the only one I remember.
Yeah, I remember another one that wasn't Axel, but I don't remember who. It wasn't Walker. I know that.
I mean, I remember you pointing out yes, Axel was selling their NASCAR branded
Yes, which I thought was
Ear
hysterical.
Pro.
I mean, you're in the South. How can you not?
Yeah, and I don't have any of their stuff, but I know a number of people that do and highly recommend them. The Sports Pro ones that I was using did fantastically.
Yeah, I had the wired version of the ones that you were wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm glad I went with those because the little wire loop from sliding out from sweat. I was actually earlier on when we were there. I wonder if I should have brought my muffs instead, but the earbud style did fine.
Or sorry, the brand name is IsoTunes. Is the earbuds that I had. My the only issue I had was that when things were a little quieter since they've got the active amplification, my brain was going, everything's too loud. Clearly, your earbuds fell out.
Yeah. Although when we were over in the suppressor only section, that was a little disconcerting for me too.
And also one of the things that was completely all over the range day was TCRT self-healing targets. They were providing the targets for the day. And as you can imagine, those things took quite a beating. A full day of media folks shooting other people's ammunition.
Mm-hmm. And everything from 22 to, well, not the 50 BMG. Those were not shot at those. Those were shot at the can targets up on the hill. But everything from 22 to just short of 50 BMG.
So what you're saying is that the self-healing claim was really put to the test.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
On Friday and over the weekend, they had some of the targets that had been used at range day hung up in their booth. And yeah, you could see that there were holes that had been shot through them, but you couldn't see through them.
Let's see. Actually, I've got a picture of that in... and I also like that, yes, they do also have the ones that look like swingers or whatnot. But they make basically foam sheets that are the self-healing targets that are the correct size for a normal target. And I believe the rep said that they actually include a stencil for the IDPA.
Yes, he did.
So you just put that stencil down and hit it with the spray can and get back to shooting.
And he also mentioned that they're out of Arizona, and for when they were developing the targets, they left them out in the Arizona sun for a year to see what would happen, and the answer was not a whole lot.
Yeah, that was something I asked about specifically because I know a lot of rubberized material does not deal well with long-term UV exposure.
Yeah, and with the picture that Oddball just tossed in chat, they said basically paint it again and you won't notice the holes that are in there.
Mm-hmm.
Remarkable stuff. I've actually reached out to them about getting a sample to do a T&E on for the podcast.
Yeah, I was going to do that, and then I found out that, the range that I use already has one up, and I just hadn't been paying attention.
Yeah. It was really funny when you name dropped, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we already gave him some." Okay then.
And let's see. The first thing I have up here is a neat little device that a company called Black Steel makes, which they make little spring-loaded gas pedals for your handgun.
Yeah, actually, I reached out to them to see about getting a sample for a T&E of that as well.
And David, would you like to explain what I meant by a spring-loaded?
Okay, so just first for any of our listeners who are not familiar with the term gas pedal, a gas pedal on a handgun is usually a thumb support sticking out the side of the gun, so that when you have the gun at full extension, your support hand is pushing forward and down on this ledge for maintaining control and reducing muzzle flip. The problem is, it pokes out of the side of the gun. The black steel version, it replaces the takedown lever, and the part that sticks out is hinged and has a spring similar in some respects to the port door on an AR-15, except in the other direction. So when the gun is out of the holster, it's extended, but when you go to holster the gun, it just folds in flat to the side of the frame. And they actually have a video on their website showing this. And they say that it doesn't require any holster modification. It just slides right in. And we both got to play with it a little bit, and it's a very interesting device. I'm not sure how necessary is not the right word, but I'm not sure how well it would fit for a defensive handgun. But definitely for someone who's doing competition shooting, it would make, I think, a difference, and probably a similar difference for defensive hand.
Yeah. And one of the things that I was impressed by was they told us that, installation, you don't have to modify the gun. It
Yes.
just replaces the takedown lever on your pistol. Which means you can slap it on there, and you don't have to get a gunsmith or anything. You can do that yourself, and if you like it, great, keep it on there. And if you don't, cool, take it off and put the takedown lever back, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and again, on the website they have links to installation videos on the different families of guns that they make them for, and they've got quite a good selection. Canik, CZ, Glock, FN, HK, IWI, SIG, Smith, Springfield, Shadow Systems, and Walther. They have a few different from each of those. And they said they're constantly expanding as they get new designs out.
Right.
Yes, a very, very interesting product. I am intrigued.
And Bond Arms was there. One of the things that was new from Bond Arms was they were showing off. They have been working on a magazine fed box magazine fed, I should say, lever action
magazine. Yeah,
lever action 223.
With a 300 blackout to follow.
Yes, which they were showing off and letting people shoot, which was pretty cool. They are not quite done developing it yet. And it worked, and it worked pretty well for me. It had been giving some people some hiccups, just because with any lever gun, you have to be pretty authoritative when running the lever. With this one, doubly so. Yeah,
I induced a malfunction by intentionally working the lever slowly, just so I could feel where it was hiccuping. But yeah, if you threw that lever forward with authority and pulled it back like you were mad at it, it worked fine.
Right.
But it's not ready for prime time yet. But overall, I like the layout and feel of it.
Now, the thing that made that actually turned out made Mr. Bond remember me is apparently people weren't particularly interested in shooting the larger calibers of their Derringers, and they definitely had them out. I started off with warming up to their Derringers, shooting the 44 Magnum, which was actually pretty pleasant to shoot.
Yeah, stout but manageable.
And then I went to the 4570 Cyclops, which
I put pictures showing the recoil of the one that Oddball just mentioned and the one that he's about to.
Yeah, and the 4570. Let's see, you you have the picture of me showing the 4570
yes.
next to the Derringer that it goes into.
And with the smile of mischief.
Yeah, and that's just hysterical. And actually, yes, as you can see in the picture, there's definitely recoil. And Gordon Bond warned me, don't try to shoot it with two hands. Shoot it with one hand and just ride the recoil. Don't try to hold it steady. And it definitely let me know that it went off, but it wasn't too bad. Then he handed me the 50 AE.
Yeah.
A Derringer. A Derringer in 50 caliber Action Express.
That is
Correct.
Oh, God. In case an Obrez wasn't enough recoil for you.
Correct. As it sucks the oxygen directly out of your lungs.
Yeah, that was the one that when I saw him the next day, he asked me how my hand was doing.
Yeah. Now, for technical purposes, I looked up the specifications of both 4570 and 50 Action Express, and with the same weight bullet, they are making within about 100 feet per second of the velocity of each. The difference is the test barrel for the 4570 is 32 inches long. The test barrel for the 50 Action Express is 6 inches long. And they're getting to about the same velocity when they leave the model. So, yeah, that's like a Mustang versus an Econovan.
Yeah.
They both could reach the same top speed, but one's going to get there way quicker.
Yeah.
But it was, you had so much fun with those.
Oh, yeah.
It was just fun to watch.
Yeah. And I might contemplate getting the 4570 Cyclops. The Cyclops and 50 AE, I don't know about that.
I mean, honestly, I think 4570 ammo might be cheaper places.
Yeah, there's that too.
See,
It's really easier to find.
I have a problem
absolutely.
with a gun being called Cyclops. I'm probably reading too much into it because I overanalyze things, but I see that name and I see, oh yeah, the recoil is going to knock out one of your eyes.
Well, unlike most of the other Derringers, this one only has a single barrel.
Correct.
That's why it's the Cyclops.
Okay, so it's like nearly every other gun. Gotcha.
And they decided to have some fun with
Yes.
Yep.
with it. That's on the muzzle.
With the broad nose and the fang and the unibrow.
Okay,
But yeah,
that's cute. I grudgingly admit that's cute and that's clever.
Oh, and yeah, the 50 the Cyclops in 50 AE is the thumper, and I can definitely attest that is a proper name to it.
And also, I believe on the other side of the barrel, isn't there an outline of the 4570 cartridge?
On the 4570,
Yeah.
yeah. Here's a picture of it. Yeah, and that is actually showing that is full scale. That shows you how much is the chamber and where the rifling is.
I'm surprised there's actually that much rifling.
Well, that's the long barrel version. The snubby has a lot less rifle.
So, but speaking of thumpers, Kahr Arms definitely brought one to range day. Kahr Arms has decided to start making their own 50 BMG bolt action rifle.
It's nice. Nice gun.
Oh, very nice gun. And they were very generous with the ammo as people were lining up for it.
Goodness, were they? You'd think they'd just give you one, maybe two, but no, everyone was getting 3 rounds.
Yeah. And as with any 50 BMG rifle, it had a massive compensator on the front of it.
Yeah, the muzzle brake looked like it went on our
muzzle brake, rather.
Yeah.
And
but, I mean, it looks big sitting on the table, but it doesn't look so big now. Just like an AR-10.
I did feel kind of bad for the folks that were set up next to them with that thing constantly going off.
Yeah,
because you could definitely feel in your chest. Which
yes,
Erin, I know you know that feeling. Weird. Have you been around a 50 BMG going off?
So the first time I ever shot a 50 BMG, someone had brought to it was a Northeast Shooters blog shoot, or and it was a shoot for the board, and someone had brought the Cerbero BFG bolt action and the single shot 50. And
you mean Scott's favorite from Kentucky?
No, that's the no. It wasn't the Royal. It was that's a break action. What was that? The Royal
the cap unscrews to expose the chamber.
Yeah, no. This was a conventional bolt, but a bullpup, and but not non-magazine fed. I think it was just called the BFG, and then he's got the BFGA or something like that for the semi-auto version that he's, I think, just finally putting into production. But but either way, also one of the members at that time had found a company that essentially repackages Cuban cigars so that they can be mailed quasi-legally into the United States. And so someone had passed out a bunch of cigars, and I was talking with one of the guys, and he had just had the cigar hanging out of his mouth while we were talking, and someone touched off the first round, and the cigar just fell out of his mouth onto the ground. It's not too bad when you're behind it, but when you're beside it, it'll rattle your fillings loose.
Speaking of behind it, while Oddball was shooting, I was standing behind him trying to get a shot of. Because even in the daylight, you could see some of the blast coming out of the muzzle brake. I was not quite fast enough, but I would like to point out that in this picture, you can see his hair fluffing up on one side of his head.
Yep.
Yes. And it ended up being a rather dramatic demonstration for Barrett Firearms, because they were on the other end other far end of that particular bench with one of their semi-auto 50 BMGs, but it had a can on it, and they told me that they had done all the fancy stuff that you have to do to measure decibels, and with that can on it, it brings it down to about the same noise level as your standard 308 rifle, which, standing around it, that sounded about right, and you don't get nearly the concussive chest thumping blast with
sorry, go ahead.
With the suppressor that they had on theirs.
Yeah, I will point out that on the Barrett, if you notice that at the end of the suppressor, there's still a muzzle brake.
Yes.
That's how much gas flows through that thing.
Yeah.
I did not actually get a chance to shoot the Barrett. I did get to shoot the Kahr, and it was actually not at all unpleasant to shoot.
No. And that's one of the things that I actually find notable about every time I've shot a 50 cal is that there's that concussion. There's definitely that concussion, but the recoil typically really isn't that bad. It definitely will knock you back and let you know that it's gone off, but it's typically not as bad as you might think. Now that's granted, that's also because your standard AR-15 or your standard 50 cal rifle weighs a lot and will generally have that giant muzzle brake on the end of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're like 20-something pounds at the small end.
Yeah. And one of the guys
according to this, and by the way, for those that looking up, it's actually it's actually made under the Ordnance brand, and yeah, it's saying it is 25.5 pounds, and
Yeah.
that's unloaded with no optic.
Yeah.
and one of the brands that was in between them was DSArms,
Yes.
who had shown up with some of their FAL rifles,
Yeah.
which I had to take a couple pictures for Weer'd. Yeah, that's one of the rifles that they had.
The baby poop.
And I had to take a picture of the back of the guy's shirt.
Yes.
The FAL World Tour.
Yep. And they did have one of the folding stocks, and I did chat with the guy briefly what they had done to the baby to get that folding stock, and Weer'd agrees with us that it was not a good design. But he also had another one that I thought I had gotten a picture of, but I'm not seeing in the folder, that I also shot, and it had an optic and a suppressor.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get a picture of that one?
Yeah, I did.
Yes. There. No.
There you go. Yeah, they did have a modernized.
Oh, I was actually that one too. But if you can see just in the very lower left corner, you can see the optic poking up past the guy's sleeve.
Yeah.
That was the one. It was a shorter FAL, shorter barrel, shorter stock, suppressor, and a simple red dot. And it was very nice.
And actually, one of the other and the guys that were right next to Kahr Arms and were getting blasted by that 50 cal.
Yeah.
Was a company called Battle Arms Development.
Yeah.
Which makes AR-15s. Makes very fancy AR-15s. Now, I think
they have. I think the
all
lightest?
of you know my feelings towards. Oh, hey, you make AR-15s. That's nice, along with everybody else.
And now High Point.
Yeah.
Again, walked right past it, walked into the High Point booth. There's an AR-15 on the rack, walked right past it because, yeah, congratulations, you have an AR-15, so does everybody. But wait, this one's got the High Point logo. That actually is...
We haven't finished the range day portion yet, but when we get to the vendor floor, that happened to us again with something else.
Okay.
But this one, these folks actually had an AR-15 that definitely got my, and not only an AR-15, but a 9mm PCC AR-15.
Yes, which you know how Oddball feels about the magazine placement.
Well, and you know how I feel specifically about the AR pattern PCCs. But this guy,
yes,
and
the little guy next to it.
Mm-hmm. But the reason why that one, and actually, sorry, no, that one was 223.
Yeah, the next one over towards the top,
but
also 223. But the one just beyond that you can just see the 4, and I think was the 9.
But the skeletonized AR-15 there weighs 4 pounds 4 ounces.
I got a picture.
That's how much I weighed when I was born.
Yeah, I didn't.
That is very impressive.
I didn't get an actual picture of the gun itself directly, but in the photo that I just posted, and also you can kind of see it a little bit in this one, is just past Oddball's hip in the first photo, and just behind the guy's wrist in the second photo. That was the 9mm PCC with wood furniture and a kind of olive mottled paint job, and then there was the plain black one just past it, and that's where you can see the stick magazines, the Glock magazine in between them.
But unfortunately, these are, and again, it's one of those, I look at it and go, okay, I understand why they're so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But these are not cheap.
No.
That super light one, the MSRP is $3,390
For an AR.
but it's a lot of skeletonized carbon fiber and titanium.
Yeah.
Ounces make pounds.
Yeah.
But very, very cool. And again, even at that lightweight, not unpleasant to shoot.
Yeah.
It's still just a fast 22.
And G80, which had G80 was there. They had some interesting things. They bill themselves as the next generation of 80% pistols, where they are actually selling the fire control group. They're selling an 80% fire control group for Glock-like pistols.
That's super interesting. So they're kind of doing the what is it, RMX?
Yeah. And they will also sell you a grip module if you so desire. And both in the standard Glock pistol setup, or they also have these kits, the PDW retractable arm brace or shoulder stock setup.
How does that thing work?
Actually, hold on a second. I have a video.
Yes. It's actually some hinges, and it can collapse and slip in, where the rear part will collapse upwards.
Basically it flattens into a line and then slides forward.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're right-handed, it's fine. If you're left-handed, that hinge is in your nostril.
And this is a child company of Defense Distributed, the folks that make the Ghost Gunner CNC machine, which means they also, on their website, they have reference models and STLs of grip modules for if you are a 3D printing person and you'd rather print your own, which I always appreciate seeing folks selling stuff to support that side of things.
And the video, even though it's really only a few seconds, it's too powerful. It's 5 seconds of video, but it's too powerful for Discord. Yeah, I think the max for Discord is what, 10 megabytes?
I don't know. Something like that. Yeah.
But it's 11.4.
And I've talked enough, and this is more up your aisle, David. This next one.
Well, we skipped Stern Defense. I'd like to go back to that.
So we did.
So one of the things about ARs is you really can't do a folding stock on an AR without some major replumbing and also making sure that it can't be fired. But Stern Defense has come up with a rapid attach buttstock adapter. It's a 3-lug concept. So there's a little catch that you have to depress, and then you just twist and pull, and the stock is off. And they started off making them just for things like the Scorpion that have a pick rail on the back. but then they made an adapter that would work for an AR. And it's $140, but it's the entire kit with all the parts. It doesn't include the stock and the receiver extension, applying that, but it has all the other bits, and it's really, really cool and really smooth.
And I'm watching the video of it right now. Where is the buffer tube still inside the stock, or did they relocate it?
Nope, the function of the gun has not changed at all.
Yep.
What happens is when you turn to release the 3-lug, a tab extends, blocking the path to the receiver extension, basically locking the bolt carrier forward. And then when you put it back, that's released.
Yeah, and by smooth, they were running a contest to see how fast you could assemble 2 guns, and then a third one, pull it out of a backpack, attach the stock, stick a magazine in, charge it, and fire 3 rounds on target. And I was able to do that in, it was like 10.2 seconds, and I was by far not the fastest person that day. So, and of course, that was me just basically having just seen how the system worked. So it is very intuitive and very quick to use, and both to attach and detach, while still being a very secure system. I wouldn't have any concerns about the strength of the lockup at all.
No, and it's not only is it quick and secure, it's less expensive than a lot of the folding adapters I've seen.
Yeah. And one of the other things that they had out that they were showing is they are making and selling magazine adapters for if you do want an AR PCC setup for magazine adapters, so that your rifle would then take Glock mags, MMP 320s, MP 45, and Beretta 92s.
Glock 320, MMP, Beretta 92 are what currently list.
Mm-hmm.
And the system for holding it in place in the magwell is quite secure. It's not just held in by the AR mag release or mag retention, but it has a tensioning screw that pushes a pad out against the front of the magazine well on the inside, which is important because they didn't the AR mag release button doesn't actually release the mag. There is a push button on the rear of the unit, and I'll toss a picture in here, which caught me both times I went to release the magazine, because I have an AR PCC, and the mag release does the mag release thing. And the first time I'm pushing the mag release, the magazine's not coming out. The second time I just hit it once and then remembered. But you can see lower left, there's a button just to the left of stern defense labeling. That is the magazine release, and it works in the standard magazine catch of the magazine. So no modifications necessary. And really nice people, too. It's a family duo.
Yeah, it's a family business. And it's great seeing a small family business that's putting out well-designed, high-quality stuff. I really hope that things go well for them in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that their mag and conversion kits are pretty much becoming industry standard. Excuse me, but I really want that stock adapter to take off, because that is just really, really interesting and clever, and something you can get in a smaller space.
Yep.
So next on the list is one of mine, is Oriskany Arms, which is now owned by Giotto, and they make a variety of 1911s, and they are based out of Oriskany, New York. which is not too far from Ithaca for folks who have some geographical knowledge. But Weer'd, remember the picture I showed you of the purple mother of toilet seat grips? Yeah, he probably has.
He wasn't talking, so he fell asleep.
Yeah, it's
Probably.
adorable. But this is the gun, and those are the grips.
I mean, I like it, but people have told me my taste is questionable.
Yeah, I mean, but this was, a presentation piece style. You can see the high polished sides of that slide, and the frame is, other than being in shadow, is this. I mean, you could read in the reflection off that.
Really, the frame is the same color, because right here it looks two-tone. It looks like the frame is black.
Actually, that might have been the two-tone, but it's the same high polish. But I think it's a black chrome, not a.
Okay.
There was another one that they had on the table that was all chrome, and then on the firing line I got to shoot their 10 mil, which, yeah, I don't know how many rounds had been put through that thing that day, but it was a
yeah.
Because they'd actually run out of 9 mil for their 9 mil 1911s. They still had some 45, but they were sending someone to get more, and so everyone was just running. I don't know how many 5 or 7 rounds of 10 mil through that. And it was much more manageable than some other 10 mils.
I just want to point out that you guys are about a quarter of the way through your list. And you've been talking for a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while. So maybe we should skip to the highlight reel. I mean, people can just we'll leave it off. We'll leave it off in the show notes so people can go and just click through.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I guess we should skip to Wren Metalworks.
Actually, I was going to hit the 2 suppressors that I actually thought were notable.
Okay.
One of them was Wren Metalworks. The other was BOE Suppression. And it's the whole thing of with me with suppressors. I'm not saying that other people aren't doing interesting things, but there's a decent amount of you talk to suppressor companies, and a lot of times they'll tell you they'll give you the exact same answers to every question you ask, even though yes, they've got this slightly different, that slightly different. One of the big things with BOE suppression that I found highly interesting is they are doing a monocore design that you can remove from the exterior tube, which and also having modular for the actual attachment point. So if you buy the 30 caliber suppressor, I believe they just go ahead and throw in the end cap that you'll need to attach it to a 223 rifle as well, just because they know people will want to do that. And if the ATF wasn't seeing the NFA the way it was, they very well could be, and they've tried to get the ATF to say, yes, it's okay for you to sell the exterior canister, which is the serialized piece, with a couple different interior cores, and that way you could actually have the exterior. If you could actually have the 30 caliber monocore and the 223 monocore, and just swap them out as needed. As it stands now, you can still swap them out, but the swap out process is you've got to send it back to the factory and they'll swap out the interiors for you, which still means you're not having to buy a whole new can if you decide, well, I have this 30 caliber can and really what I want is one for my 223. But it does make things a little bit more annoying, but I thought that was a really neat design decision, and their pistol suppressor was super lightweight, to the point that really honestly they had suppressed Beretta 92, and I picked it up, and I really couldn't tell the difference of the extra weight being on the end of it, while it was still being an effective suppressor. So that really interested me.
So I have a request here. I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay, so Devil Dog Concepts, I mean, wasn't quite a decade ago, but I got a hold of their AR-15 side charging system, and I really like it. And so I was wondering if they had anything new and interesting around.
Well, actually, funny thing is we're talking with the fellow at the Devil Dog Concepts table on Friday, Media Day, and he's showing us the product, and he has one of the, puts the butt on the, and starts kicking down at the charging handle to show how sturdy it is. And I'm interested, and he gives me one.
Yeah, he gave me one too. As a matter of fact, when I first saw them, and this was like at Big 3 East, one of the things they did was, I mean, not just kick on it, but they actually stood on it. And they said, like, here at Devil Dog Concepts, we don't just stand behind our product, we stand on it.
Yeah. But there was another product that they had just recently come out with, is a new armor tool. So for those who are familiar with a traditional armorer wrench for an AR, it has the bit that goes over the barrel nut at one end, and then it extends to the other end. And you usually wind up having to try to hold that in place with the one hand while you're putting tension on it with the other, because it's going to try to pop off. Well, they designed this one so that the part that engages the barrel nut is in the middle, and there's a handle to either side.
Interesting.
And it has basically every other tool for dealing with AR assembly on it, and it looks somewhat intimidating. So I just tossed a picture in the chat. So in the middle, there's the barrel assembly, there's the castle nut and buffer tube tool at the one end. There's a small screwdriver or prior element at the other. There are, above the barrel nut in the middle, there are notches for different standard sizes of muzzle devices. There are holes for attaching a torque wrench to either side of that. And it's hard to see in this picture, but there's also a bottle opener. Because why not?
Because that's always important.
Well, yes. And he was showing me that, and I was expressing interest, and he gave me one of those too. So, for folks, you will be hearing my reviews on those as I build yet another AR.
Yeah, my original review of that is from 2016.
Yeah, I don't know what has changed between 2016 and now, but he said they had made some improvements, but I don't know what they are.
I mean, it's hard to improve on it. It's great as it is.
Yeah, he did say that you could get different handle attachments. So there's a pin that holds the handle, and you can swap, and they sell a kit of like 6 different handles. But I think it might just be modifications to the geometry or some other element. Having not seen it before, I can't see. But I really am interested in it. But I would like to hop back to Wren Metalworks for a moment.
Yes.
Because this is a picture from range day of a couple of their items that very picture. Slightly different angle. But this is the picture that when I shared it in a group, Mad Mike said it was an offense against. And when we were on the vendor floor and I told them what he said, they said, please tell him thank you. And
they make integrally suppressed lever action rifles.
Yes.
Which I believe they start with Henry receivers.
That's one of the ones that they do is with Henry's. They do others as well.
Okay. Obviously, there's a lot of handwork and custom work, so they aren't cheap.
No,
but they are nice.
Lever action Delisle in a lot of respects, except it's a short barrel with just expansion chamber as opposed to a perforated barrel. And yeah.
And of course, since it's a closed system, a lever action, a suppressed lever action can be super quiet, and these were.
Yeah, one of the ones that they had the picture that I just shared. It's to the left, the kind of olive drabish one was 8.6 blackout, and I think it was quieter than my 300 blackout, which is a 16-inch barrel with the big, massive po' boy suppressor on it, and I think theirs was actually quieter. I think they said it was a 1 in 5 rifling twist on their 8.6.
I can't remember.
Okay. It's just yes, stupid quiet is the correct term. They had 300 blackout, they had 8.6 blackout, they had 44 Magnum, they had 45-70 out, and they were so quiet.
And since I think we're losing both Erin and Weer'd, let's finish up on one last one.
Okay.
And that would be, and I know, David, you're wanting to do a full review in the future, which I may assist with, but DefGrips.
Yes.
This is a wraparound sticker grip for your pistols and ARs, and they also do them for some shotguns, which is an interesting and very, I could see being very useful. And their big trick is, instead of it being a sticker of, skateboard tape or what have you, of the more stippling, it won't leave your hand if your hand is impaled on it. They use a polymer that, one, is very, I'm not sure hygroscopic is the correct term, but it definitely absorbs liquid and gets it away from your hand, which helps increase grip by a good bit, and has that foamy grip tight feel to it, which, one, cushions things a little bit, and two, really makes it feel like it's sticking to your hand without it being super rough. And I've picked up some pistols that are downright painful.
Yeah. It's also not actively tacky to the touch.
Right. Yeah. And their product is all of like $25. So yeah. There's a decent amount of, why not try it? If you don't like it, you're out a decent dinner.
Yeah. And the directions for assembly, I guess. I'm not sure.
Application.
There we go. Application. Yes. It's really, really simple. Unload the firearm, make sure it's unloaded, with the backing still on, make sure it fits. Wipe down the surface with alcohol, let it dry.
Yeah.
And then they have alignment tabs on it.
Well, but like I said, let's not go too far into it, because you're going to do a full review later. But did want to definitely mention them, because spoiler alert, it's on the gun that's on my hip right now. Yeah. So.
And there's actually one more thing that I wanted to mention, which is going to some.
Which is what?
That there's going to be a surprise that I am mentioning this.
Okay.
Second Amendment bourbon. And as everyone who's listened knows, I don't drink. I have no interest in alcohol. But I do need to call these folks out. They were very friendly. When they started producing their Second Amendment bourbon, they reached out to a variety of firearms manufacturers partner with, and they all said no. And then they reached out to Smith & Wesson, and Smith & Wesson said, let me check with legal. Legal says it's okay, we're in. In fact, we are so in that we don't want any money from you.
Oh, wow.
Any money that you would send to us, send to GOA.
Nice.
Yeah. And of course, he said once Smith & Wesson signed on, they started getting calls from other firearms manufacturers saying, "Hey, what about us?"
Yeah, there's always got to be somebody who takes the first step.
Yeah, and in this case, it was the local boys.
Yeah, and and Weer'd and I did a tasting of their stuff at NRAM, and it's pretty tasty. So I'm gonna see if I can get their stuff here. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to ask my local liquor store, hey, can you see if you can order the stuff? They said they do have a distributor in Tennessee, but Tennessee liquor laws are weird as far as what I can order and what I can't. Because I would like one of their commemorative cases, which comes in a Pelican case.
Yes, and has the bottle topper.
Yeah. So,
all right.
But
so
yeah, and there was a good bit more. So
much more.
Both David and I probably aren't going to be at Goals next year, and that has nothing to do with our experience. That
not at all.
It was a wonderful time. It's just the whole. It's going to be in Iowa, and I'm not sure that travel is in the cards.
Yeah. I would love it if they stayed in Knoxville for a few more years, but I understand they want to be a more nationally accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of fun. And I will say that Saturday, at least, the food available wasn't bad.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything fancy, but it wasn't bad, and it wasn't excessively expensive.
So Weer'd?
Yes.
Do you know who's also nationally accessible?
Our listeners. well done. We would like to thank each and every one of our listeners. Yes, I mean you. Thank you all for listening to this fine podcast. We really appreciate it. But we got to give special thanks to our supporters on Patreon. So we have Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Assorted podcast to sign up. Patrons get an early release of the podcast, plus bonus content like the hilarious ACP blooper reels, the ACP film tracks, and the ACP Magnum.
He must need to use the toilet because he read through that really quickly.
He has a toilet right under his desk.
Yeah, I know. Bottom one.
Our bladder levels are assorted.
Well, I've got to read.
We're not there yet.
I've got to read this next part first.
Sorry.
Also, please remember to rate us on Apple Podcasts and Pocket Casts. Subscribe to us on the platform of your choice, and share the show with your friends, both online and off.
I have a blog. It's weirdworld.com. That's WEERDworld.com. And hear me weekly on Handgun Radio on the Firearms Radio Network.
And you can get more from me at linktree/Erin Paulette. That's linktree.ee/Erin Paulette. All one word. You guys were almost in tune. Well done.
I think we were in time. I don't think we were in tune.
There was a note there somewhere.
It was more of a chord. Yeah. David, where can people find you?
Here, as much as possible. Handgun Radio. Also haunt the ACP and Handgun Radio Facebook pages. I'm a contributor on the Blue Collar Prepping blog at bluecollarprepping.blogspot.com. And I'm a published author with stories in a variety of anthologies under Brennebach or David Bach. And hopefully not long after this episode is released, you should see Convoy of Chaos by Three Ravens Press with a story.
And Oddball, where can people find you?
I have a blog at gunscarstech.com, and I can be found here and often on Handgun Radio, and of course lurking at the Assorted Calibers podcast Facebook group and Handgun Radio Facebook group.
Yeah.
And thanks to Nate Spencer for our music.
You know, Oddball, you came up with a good one. Weer'd obviously needs to go urinate, but you know, I'm doing okay. So maybe I should drag this out for a bit. Weer'd.
If you don't have to pee after all this time, it means you don't have enough hydration, so you should drink some water.
Yeah,
and add a lovely sound of waterfall in the background.
Yeah, Weer'd. Whatever you do, don't think of Niagara Falls or the ocean.
Or a fire hose.
Our bladder levels and our urgency to empty them is Assorted, and so is our podcast. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.